Alrighty, hello guys. Last time what we did is we did the arithmetic sequence of recursive formula. This time it's going to be of explicit formula. So we're learning the explicit formula. All right, okay, remember the nth term is the one that is way down the road. So if I started counting, this looks like this: A1, A2, A3, A4, dot, 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 AN. So that means it goes on forever. So let's go ahead and try and figure this out. If we look at these given equations, okay, we know how to do this one. We know how to do this one. So that one should be a check off. Check. Okay, these are our two new ones that we have never seen before. Some might say, what's A naught, Miss Murdock? Well, A naught is the one that comes right before A1, right there. Okay, so since we have what A naught is, we know we have to do A1 minus D. And where we know, we know how to find D, which is right there. Okay, then we have to plug these two numbers, the orange and the pink. So the pink goes here and the orange goes here, right into this formula. So the things that I left without highlighter, those will never change. So you will always write those ones. So it says, write an explicit equation for the nth term of the arithmetic sequence. So if we have to write an explicit equation for this little guy, we first need to find out what our D is. So D is A2 minus A1. Remember, I'm going to label them. So this is A1, A2, A3, A4. So we can do A2 minus A1. All right, so that is 17 minus 8. That is going to give me 9. So now that we have that, we need to find our A naught. We need to figure out what that is. A naught equals, it says A1 minus D. So sorry guys. So I'm going to write that down. A1 minus D. So our A1 is 8, and then we're going to minus D, so 9. So our D comes from right here. Sorry, I'll put equals D out front. So our 9 comes, Our 9 comes from right here, and our A1 comes from right here where the pink is, right there. Okay, so if we do that, we get -1. Now, all we need to do is plug it in. So I'm going to leave in the blank spots where we're plugging things in. AN equals N plus something. Okay, the blank spots that you're planning on leaving are these ones up here. So this is a blank spot, and this is a blank spot. If you can see how they go, A naught goes here, so you're going to put your -1 right there. So we put -1 right there, and then you're going to put your 9 right there. So we'll put our 9. Alrighty. Okay, let's check out number 1. So it wants us to fill out the terms. Well, first and it wants us to write the recursive and explicit. So remember, I'm going to write what we need to fill in black. So remember, what we know for the explicit is AN equals N plus, and what we already know for the recursive is A1 equals dot, comma, AN equals AN minus 1 plus. So those are the two things we already know. So you could write those throughout the rest of this if you wanted to. But I'm just going to go get started. So first we need to find our D. So I'm just going to write it right under here. D is A2 minus A1. So that equals 35 minus 30, which equals 5. So we are adding 5 each time. So let's just finish this up. So we're going, we're going to add 5, add 5, add 5. So this is 50, 55, and 60. Alrighty, now what we need to find is our A naught, because we need that for our explicit. If you come up here, you can see that you'll need your A naught. So what is the opposite? I want you to think for a second to yourself. What is the opposite of adding 5? I hope you got it. It is minusing 5. So what we're going to need to do is we need to do 30 minus 5. That will give us our A naught. That will give us our beginning term, and that is 25. So now we have everything to fill in our blanks. So remember, up here, what goes in this spot is our D. So our D goes there, and that is 5. So I'm going to write in pink. 5. Okay, what goes in this spot is our A naught, which is 25. All right, now we got to figure out what goes in these two spots. Well, I hope you got it. That first one is 30. And that bottom one right there is our D, so that is going to be 5 again. Okay, let's check out C. This one's a little tricky because we have all of these. Oh man, I don't like fractions as much, but we can try it out. So we need to find our D first. Actually, let's write all of our rules out. So we're going to have AN equals N plus something, and A1 equals dot, comma, AN equals AN minus 1 plus something. Okay, now we got to find our D, and what else do I need to find? Our A naught. So let's do it. D is going to be A2 minus A1. So my A2, remember, I'm going to label these A1, A2, A3, A4. So it is going to be 1 minus 1/3. So if you do that in your calculator, you'll get 0.66666 repeating. If you do it in your head, I hope you get 2/3. All right. You can click second PRB in your calculator, and that will give you 2/3, which will be nice. Now we have A naught to find. So A naught to find is really, really easy. Remember, that is going to be A1 minus D. So that is going to be 1/3 minus 2/3. Okay, think back to your elementary days when you learned to subtract fractions. Remember, I want you to think. I want you to remember it. Okay, if the bottoms are the same, then we can subtract the tops. So we're going to do 1 minus 2, which is going to give me negative 1/3. Okay, I hope that's what you remember. Okay, now let's fill in the rest of these. So since this is an arithmetic sequence, we are adding D each time. So all you're doing is adding 2/3 each time. So hopefully you can do that. Remember, adding exponents, it's like driving on a freeway, just like when we're multiplying them. You add the tops and you leave the denominator this time. You do not change the denominator. So I can add that here. I can put divide by 3, and divide by 3. So 7 plus 2, that's going to be 9. 9 plus 2, that's going to give me 11. 11 plus 2, that's going to give me 13. Okay, these can all be simplified. For now, we don't need to simplify them, but if you want to, that's 3. This is 3 and 2/3, and this right here is going to be 4 and 1/3. So those are all of your options, all your things you can do. Okay, so now let's try and fill in our explicit and our recursive. So our explicit right here goes our D. So our D is 2/3. So we'll plug that in, 2/3. All right, and our plus is going to go right here, and our plus is A naught. So our A naught is negative 1/3. Oopsies. Negative 1/3. All righty. Okay, let's check out this one. This is A1. What's our A1? Oh, yeah, that's right. The very beginning of our sequence. So that's 1/3. All righty. Then right here, goes right here is our D. So what we're going to put there is 2/3. All righty, you guys. Well, I hope that helped. I hope that was good enough. If not, I'll see you soon. Have a good one.